Hey guys, if you haven't already, give the video a like. Subscribe to my channel. This is a What If series and I'll be doing more down the road, so stay tuned and thanks for watching. Hey guys, and welcome to What If Deku had the Trimmer fruit. Let's get into the story. So we left off with me telling you guys that Bakugo has the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and he has like gear 2nd, gear 3rd, and gear 4th. And I know one of you guys in the comments was wondering, like, how can Deku basically keep up with Bakugo, because none of his attacks will necessarily hurt Bakugo since he's made of rubber. And Deku's been sparring against Bakugo while not using none of his electric, lightning powers that he has. He's been using that to increase his speed and strength, as his mother did teach him well. So with that, Deku's just been using his armament hockey and using his double fruit powers to increase his speed and strength to keep up with Bakugo, but it was little to nothing when Bakugo pulled out gear 4th and hit Deku with a Gum Gum Calvadine, or just Calvadine for short. And it hit Deku really hard, and Deku learned that he needs to get stronger before he challenges Bakugo, because those forms might cause Deku a problem, put it like that. And I know you guys are wondering, so Inko trained Deku. Well, this is a little hint that I'm going to give you guys on who is Deku's mom. What can she do? What kind of power does she have? What kind of abilities does she have in her arsenal? Well, Deku's mom used to be the queen of the pirates before she retired to raise her son and live a normal life. And with that, Deku's mom was nothing to be reckoned with, as she fought against 4 of the admirals single-handedly, even the fleet admiral single-handedly. She fought against all of the emperors to get her title. She let nothing get in her way, and her crew was exceptionally strong. She had a various amount of strong fighters on her crew. But anyway, I'm not gonna reveal too much about her. You know how strong she is, and you just get the idea of how strong Inko is. Anyway, I'm not gonna even say what her double fruit is, because she does have a double fruit. I'm just not gonna necessarily say what it is, but know that it's strong as hell to have her battle against 4 admirals and the fleet admirals, take on them by herself. I mean, her crew was there helping her, but she basically looked at them as, these guys will be nothing to me. Anyway, so we get into the story as Deku's just walking down the street of alleyway. This is when him and Bakugo got done with their scufflings and everything, and Deku's now 15 years old. He's walking down the street as he hears a sludge villain would try to attack him, and Deku just used his devil fruit power to turn himself into lightning. And the sludge villain would pass right through him, but would be seriously electrocuted, and he would feel some of that strain, as Deku didn't use too much voltage. He only used 100 volts, because he didn't want to necessarily fry the guy. Anyway, when the sludge villain looked at Deku and said, "How did you do that?" And Deku just looked up and said, "Well, you're not going to be able to touch me because I'm made of lightning. Are you a villain? Because if you are, then I'm gonna hit you with 100 million volts." And the sludge villain heard that. He already felt 100 volts from Deku, and feeling 100 million volts would scare him. And Deku charged up like a little ball of electrical energy in his hand, and it was getting bigger and bigger as it was forming. And he said, "Villains like you cause the society, or cause the people to weep and have fears that they can't be on the streets, or can't cross the corner, or can't go to the store, or can't have events with each other due to the fact that you guys are out there terrorizing them. I hate villains, and I want to eradicate you all. So with this, I hope you burn." And before Deku could shoot his blast at the sludge villain, All Might comes out of nowhere and says, "I am here." And he sees that Deku had a little blast in his hand, and he thinks to himself, "So this guy might have a quirk. I have to keep my eye on him." And then he said, "Texas Smash!" And Smash is he punches towards the sludge villain, and he goes flying everywhere. You already know the story with that. So as Deku's just fanboying out over All Might, saying, "Oh my God, All Might, you're here, you're here, you're here. Will you sign my notebook, please?" And All Might already signed it. You already know that little gag part in that series. Anyway, so with that, All Might goes to say, "Young man, so what were you doing walking down this alleyway? If I don't believe, I feel like you were finna attack that guy with some kind of energy forming in your hand." "Yeah, I was finna fry him, and then well, I wasn't necessarily gonna kill him. I did say I want to eradicate all villains, but I just did that just to scare the guy. I mean, it seemed like it worked because he was kind of sweating. I didn't know if a sludge villain could sweat, but it looked like it worked, and he was backing up in fear, and I was about to just shoot a blast at him to knock him out so I could pick him up and just deliver him to the police." And with that, All Might said, "Oh, so you have a quirk?" "Well, no, I don't have a quirk. I'm quirkless, but I do have a double fruit power." "Oh, so you do have a double fruit power. What is your double fruit?" Then, as Deku would waste no time telling his number one hero what his power was. "My power is the Rumble Rumble fruit. It basically gives me the power to control, manipulate, and become lightning. Basically, I can do things like a lightning blast, or I can just lift my hands up into the sky and create thunderstorm-like winds, releasing a god-like blast to hit towards the ground so that an enemy could not dodge." And what do you call that, young Midoriya? As they would go to exchange names. And Deku would call that move United States. Well, not the United States. I thought it was gonna be like Deku would call that move the Thor. And with that, Thor is the Norse god that rules over thunder, and if some of you don't know that, and if you looked into the series with like Skypiea and all them, you seen how Anaru had his judgment, and if someone betrayed or did something ill-mannered or that wasn't to his liking, because he was God, and if they did something that wasn't to his liking, Anaru would release his judgment and fry them, and it would be like a huge a huge blast of energy, lightning energy coming from the sky. I can't say that word. Anyway, so with that, he called it the Thor, and All Might says, "Well, that's one of your very strongest attacks, I can say." And Deku goes to say, "Well, it's not my only strongest attack. I also have an attack where I can form like a lightning dragon and shoot it at my opponent." Basically, that is the lightning dragon attack is which I made when I was like 10 years old. It's basically an attack that immobiles the victim so that they can't move while giving them incredibly pain from the voltage of the dragon. And if they don't free themselves within a certain amount of time, it's basically going to just knock them out and render them unconscious. It's a weak move, but it can be very, very, very useful as I can do it multiple times. I also have these three abilities called Armament Hockey, Observational Hockey, and Conqueror's Hockey. Well, my Conqueror's Hockey helps me to knock out those villains with weak wills, and my Armament Hockey helps me do things like this, as Deku like formed the fist and a black cloaked like armor covered his whole arm. Well, not his whole arm, just up to his like forearm and his fist. And Deku would say, "Oh, so that's it. My mother is the one who trained me, and she's very strong, as she spent these last few years training me extra hard so that I could become this strong." And All Might goes to think to himself, this guy could be a wonderful successor to the One for All. So All Might goes to say, "Young Midoriya, how would you like to come train with me for the next 10 months of before you go to your entrance exam? I want you to become the next successor of my power, because I feel that you become a great, extraordinary hero. And it will also help you against your battle with that Kachan or Bakugo character, seeming as if you're opposite matches to each other. And he has the only power in this world that could beat you. So, do you want to become a hero, young man?" And as Deku tears just coming out of his eyes, hearing his idol say this for the first time, goes to his knees and clenches his heart, and he says, "Yes. Well, your training starts tomorrow." As we flash forward to tomorrow, and Deku sees that the beach was full of debris, like full of furniture, old furniture, like tables, chairs. Oh, it was full of a lot of junk that Deku had to clear in the next 10 months for his training. And All Might would have gave Deku one for all early, since seeming as if his mother whipped Deku's body in shape. She has delivered nothing but brutal training towards Deku, and Deku had to endure this training on the same island that Rayleigh taught Luffy. She took Deku there so that Deku could become accustomed and become stronger and could become adaptable to his surrounding weathers. Well, the changing seasons on that island and the gigantic overgrown monsters on that island. And that's where we're going to be ending things at, you guys. Let me know in the comments how I did in this one, as I didn't want to go too far in the story because I have some planning for the 1K special that I'm getting ready to do. I have an awesome 1K special that I'm going to do for you guys. So anyway, I was just planning for that, but I wanted to release this out because you guys been asking me a lot about it, and I'm sorry that I haven't got back to this series because I love this series and I want to put more out to it. But anyway, the 10 months training is going to start for Deku, and he is going to get one for all. And it's a little surprise that you're going to learn that All Might has when we get into the next part of this series. So without further ado, you guys have a good day, a good night, and you already know the deal. Plus Ultra. Good night, guys.